Right.
Go on then, Carl.
Second one then. This is a bit easier, but I still think it's a good one.
So this is, we should explain what this is if you just tuned in.
It's one of those stupid lateral thinking problems.
That Carl himself has created.
Yeah, that was his homework.
Right, this one. It's a fella. He has a normal day doing stuff. Nothing wrong with him. Right. And
it's the twist in the tale. It's just like Tales of the Unexpected. Yeah. Just a normal day, nothing wrong with him. Hold on, though, he's got the legs of a fish. Go on.
So,
that's what he's been hiding his legs.
So
Go on.
He does his
the legs of a fish.
Sorry, Carl, carry on.
He has his working day and that, and then he gets a bit tired. Goes to bed. He puts the light on, leaves it on, goes to bed.
Oh,
that's crazy.
That's mental. I can't think what's happened. Anyway, here's Radiohead. Right, okay. The question is, why does he put the light on when he's going to bed?
He's had a normal day, he's come home from work. Is that right, he's come home from work, or he's not been working, he's just been out?
No, it's been working and stuff, I think.
You think? You've made it up, Carl, you can decide.
So, the question is, why has he put the light on when he's asleep? There's a reason that he's put the light on when he's asleep.
Has he gone to sleep?
No, Carl, don't shrug, you're meant to answer these questions.
He put the light on before he went to bed.
Yeah, and the question you're asking me is why? What's the scenario?
And the light's on and that, but he's gone to sleep.
Yeah.
He started reading, and then he fell asleep.
No.
Did he so he intentionally, for some reason, put the light on?
Every night. It's mad. Sounds mad.
That's Carl, doesn't it?
Every night he does it.
Yeah.
He puts the light on when he goes to sleep.
Carl, is the point of this, he puts the light on for a very good reason.
Not for us, but for some people.
He's blind, and it's always been on, and he thinks he's turning it off, but it was on in the day, and he thinks he's turning it off, but he's turning it on, because he's blind.
That'd be stupid.
That works.
No, that works great, Rick.
Yeah. Thank you, Carl. So you've got to come up with what—
Hang on. If you're blind, why would you put a light on?
No, he thinks it's off.
Yeah.
But why would he turn it on anyway?
To think so he doesn't get burgled, so people know he's in, because he can't see him, so he just, he puts the light on when he's there, then he turns the light off when he goes to bed, so people think it's fine. But he's got it out of kilter, and actually he's walking around in the dark all day.
I don't believe that if you're blind you turn your light on.
I don't think you'd be living on your own, would you?
I'm not having that for a second.
Do blind people live on their own?
I'm not having that for a second. Well, some people do. Lonely blind people live on their own.
No, if you got bad eyes.
And even women? Are there any blind women who are living on their own, Rick? No, I mean, if you know of some blind women.
08700 800 1234. We've gone through this.
If you are a blind woman
with no standards and you don't care annoying voices and smell,
yeah,
then get in touch with you.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be within the ages of, say, 25 to 65. You know,
right.
Well, call it 75.
You fussy all of a sudden. Yeah, go on.
If you were blind, would you live in London? Because someone said yesterday there was one struggling outside in Leicester Square, and I don't understand. If you were, I mean, you know,
might have been a tourist.
But why come to London if you're blind? It's the worst place in the world to come if you're blind.
To hear the sights.
To hear the sights.
It's a bit mad, isn't it?
They have they do the same job.
They have tourist needs like anyone else.
Yeah.
No, but it sort of stinks, and you'd go away going, oh, it's not that good. I just thought that I thought it was a bit weird.
Well, never mind your concern for the partially sighted or sight impaired people coming to London. Get on with this.
Yeah. So there he is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, a bit tired.
Yeah.
Just put the light on, get to bed.
Yeah, so he turns the light on and he goes to bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Should we play a track?
He's not sleeping on the job, he's a lighthouse keeper.
Well done.
Is he a lighthouse
That's
keeper?
not it, Carl.
He's a lighthouse keeper.
Right, why wasn't the light on all the time?
Because it's light in the day.
You idiot. Play a record.
What?
Play a record. You're a buffoon.
No, actually, the light isn't on in the day, is it?
No,
Rick?
it's not.
I think you're the buffoon.
Yeah.
Carl has won!
Hey!
100 Reasons and Silver on XFM 104.9. I love the fact that Carl went a little bit mental then. So happy that he thinks that a lighthouse keeper pops the light on at the same time every... Are you telling me it was never foggy?
Everyone has a routine in the job.
And why was he going home from work knackered? What had he been doing all day?
He never said he went home knackered.
He did. He said he went home. He's just done a day's work. He said he went home knackered and puts the light on and goes to sleep. That's what he said.
Yeah, but he's maybe a part-time lighthouse keeper.
Oh, what does he do? Works in the library, does he, as well?
No, listen, Rick,
Hang on.
don't, look, I'm really with Carl here.
What?
He definitely got you. He
Anyway,
stitched
I
you
got
up
it right.
and proper.
Anyway, I got it
yeah,
right.
but then you embarrass yourself by
He's
saying that...
stupid.
But you
He's stupid.
you would never put
What's
a
the next
lighthouse light on during the day.
What's the next
and
one?
he'd been painting it that day.
Oh, had
It
he?
was extra shattered.
Right, okay.
So anyway, I found these, things, do you want to hear them?
yeah.
So what's this? Explain this again.
Right, so I got back off holiday. The first job I found out I've got to do is work with Ricky for a voiceover.
I do a regular thing, I do X-Ray magazine, but I'm allowed to make the script up, and they said I could, so I did.
Right, so imagine this.
Well, I know you, Rick, and I know you like to put a lot of work into these things.
Yeah.
You want to do a good job.
So he rolls up, he says, let's do it then. He said, what's in the magazine? I said, well, here's a selection of stuff, this is what you've got to sell. He said, leave it with me. He goes into the little booth, and the first one he comes up with is this little advert for it, right?
X-Ray magazine, it's out now, it's £3.50 May edition, music of tomorrow, Dandy Warhol's picture, and there's a free CD with all the Placebo and the Donners, and Smog, and Nightmares on Wax, and Alpine All-Stars. Only £3.50, it's out now, buy it, innit?
Have you got a sore throat there?
Well, that's alright, isn't it? And he was going, you can't, I said, we are doing that, I've done one, that is it, that's it. So I persuaded him, he went, right, okay, we can possibly put that on XFM, right? I'll have to see, right? So I wouldn't do it again. And he went, but you need one for Capital. He said,
Right.
Capital will know what I went, right, I'll do one more for Capital. Right.
Because all the stations advertise the XFM
Yeah.
magazine, right? So this is the one that he thought would be alright for them.
Ooh, hello, you loonies in Radioland. Dr. Frog here to tell you about the new edition of X-Ray magazine. It's out now and it's only £3.50. You've not heard of it? It's a great music magazine. And you get a free CD featuring bands like Placebo, they wear makeup, but leave them alone. Gold Chain, Smog, OK Go, The Donners, and all great bands that you'll love to... Froggy here, hello. Bye! Ribbit, ribbit, Froggy says bye it.
Oh, well.
So then, he says, that's it,
It's
you've
good to
had
see,
your
is
money's
Dr.
worth.
Frog still on there? He's still on classic.
I said, that isn't going to go out, they're not going to be happy with that. He said, you've had your money's worth, I'm going.
Yeah.
So I'm left with that. I then have to get the bosses in. And because I've let him go, in a way, it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
So I've obviously thought I've got what I need. I had to play them to the MD.
What did he say?
And justify... Well, I was sort of thinking if I laugh, he might go, well, I don't get it, but he finds it funny.
Oh, brilliant, well done.
So I was laughing, he was sort of thinking, you know,
Excellent.
is that it?
Brilliant. When do they go out then?
I think one of them's going out at the moment.
Excellent.
I think the first one's going out.
Brilliant. Well, let's play a great track then.
Is it Dr. Frog? I'd like to see Dr. Frog feature maybe on our show more often.
Okay.
Well, Rick, you're not the only one who's been away. I know you've been off working, but
Yeah.
I, at long last, have taken a bit of leisure time.
Go on.
And, you've probably heard of the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. Only one of the hottest, events in the world calendar.
yeah.
Imagine me down there.
Oh,
Rio, you can imagine, did not know what hit it.
Oh, God almighty. Were you like, Paul the Party Animal Parker?
He would not have been able to keep up if he was with me.
God, what did you do? What did you get up to?
Oh, let me tell you right now. Day one, I almost drowned. Day two, I got a foot infection and spent the day in the hospital. And the rest of the time, I had diarrhea. So that was a hell of a time.
Carnival.
Yeah. I did. I was able to watch some of the carnival on TV,
Oh,
and it
right.
looked brilliant. It looked
Did it?
amazing. I didn't actually. It was difficult to make out because the TV wasn't actually in my room. Because in an effort to save money, I wasn't staying in a hotel. I was staying with a bunch of other people in some kind of, like, someone's flat that they'd let out. And, so I had to watch the TV, like, from my window, watching a neighbour's TV. And of course, when they change the channel, often during the juicy bits, I couldn't see anything. And, but they look really good. I'm bunged up at the moment just so I can get through the show. But I've just been on a 12-hour flight, and it is terrifying being on a flight when you know that any moment you could go. Because, the problem is sometimes the toilet's free and sometimes you've got to queue up. And the worst bit is that sort of half an hour just before you land when they say the toilets are out of bounds now. I'd say I went twice before that in quick succession. The woman sat next to the toilet. She didn't know what was going on, the noises and stuff in there, and because I was really panicky.
Oh, Christ.
And so of course then on the whole flight, as we're landing, I'm really petrified because I'm thinking I packed a pair of underpants and jeans in my bag, in my holdall, just in case it all went. And I was really, because I hate flying anyway, and I hate landing because it's the most terrifying moment of the journey. Then it really was rumbling, and I was thinking, I got to get out of here. Of course, you know when you're in a hurry, suddenly everything makes you angry. The little old lady in front of me who's just hobbling along off the gangplank, get out of my way!
Yeah.
You know, just really annoying.
With your bad hips and your bad
and
legs.
your Zimmer frame.
I know you've been through a war, but get out of my way!
Yeah, and just anyone who kind of even passes you, and so I managed to get there just in time, got into and it all went off. Man alive, it was grim. But that was not anything compared with the first couple of days, because the first day I went for a walk, and of course Ipanema Beach is famous. I mean, obviously The Girl from Ipanema, one of the most famous songs in the world, and Ipanema Beach is famous for just the beautiful, beautiful people that gather there, and it is extraordinary. I mean, the people are remarkable. There's so many beautiful women in Rio, it made me angry. I was angry that these women were so attractive and that, you know, none of them were even looking at me. So, but anyway, I'm on the beach because I was shopping and I needed a wee. Right, and we went for a quick impromptu swim, and I thought, oh, we in the sea.
Just think of him on this beach, right, with diarrhea.
Well, I'm wearing great big long shorts, because I'm not going to try and compete with these boys, because they
And you are, could I say this, the whitest man I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, with his shirt off, you can see his heart like a newborn fish.
Well, this is the thing. As I went into the sea to have a wee, there was a discussion about this.
As I went into the sea to have a wee.
Yeah. Well, I was desperate for a toilet, and I was shopping, so I thought, well, I'm never going to make it back to the hotel, so I'll go in the sea and have a little swim and
Just
swim.
I see him straining, just like a cat in a litter tray.
You see, there was a discussion about this because I'm very much of the opinion that you should take your trunks down, and some people, some of my friends are saying, just do it in your trunks and let the sea just wash it away.
What a hell of a carnival.
And I think I'm against that. I've always been against that in swimming pools, everything, you know,
I'm against pissing in swimming pools, full stop. It doesn't matter whether you take your trunks down or don't piss in the swimming pool.
But what about in the sea?
Yeah, well, fine, yeah.
Fine, okay, right,
fish do it,
so anyway, so I'm in the sea trying to urinate, and I kneeled, because I'm obviously very tall, so it's tricky to get deep enough for the water to mask what you're up to. So I tried to kneel down in the water, right, and I got John Thomas out, but then the water swept out again and just left me on the beach. But luckily my back was to everyone, so no one saw. I
can't think of a funnier sight than Steve Merchant on his knees with his little John Thomas out. I don't know how big it is, I've never seen it. But for me, I imagine it's in proportion to the rest of you, is it?
I wish. That's all I'll say is I've been a little shortchanged. But, so then I got up and I waded a bit deeper in, right? And, now I was trying, I got it out. But what I didn't realise is that the waves just off the beach are really just uncontrollable. You never know what's going to happen. So one minute they're calm, and the next minute they're crazy like a tsunami. So suddenly I see this giant wave coming towards me, crashing towards me, and I got the cock out and everything, and it grabs this wave, comes over me, and lifts me up, and flips me up in the water, right? And I'm floundering around. I can't see anything because, of course, I had to take my glasses off to go in the sea. Because I didn't want to lose them.
Oh God!
So I floundering around, and I'm genuinely getting scared because as I try to get into shore, the wave just pulls me back again. So I'm waving to my friends on the beach, but what
everything.
Well, what I don't realise is that because I'm not wearing my glasses, I don't realise that I've been dragged along the beach some way, and I'm not actually waving to my friends. So there's like a bunch of these beautiful women on Ipanema Beach. Watching a pasty white man waving with his cock out. And what annoyed me was my friends were laughing. And that really angers me.
If I'd have been there, I would have burst.
But why wouldn't you have come running? Would you have come running in to help me?
Not with your knob out.
What? But so even though I was screaming and shouting?
I'd have thrown a rope or something, or a dinghy or something. There's no way I'd have. I couldn't have saved you with your glasses off and your knob out. If I ever save you, I want you to be fully dressed with your glasses on.
So you'd have just let me go. That would have been what you'd said to my parents. He had his knob out and his glasses off. There was no way I was
I
gonna.
can't think of a funnier sight. Oh.
Oh, tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about. Well, I mentioned Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver.
Yeah.
He used to have to sort of do your bit for the local area
Oh God.
by taking the
Yeah.
Forest Gump
yeah.
people to Blackpool.
Is that what they're called now? The Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to?
A
as?
minibus with
Exactly.
life is a box of chocolates.
exactly.
.com.
Well,
Forrest Gump types.
It
Yeah.
must be. So you work with these people.
It was yeah.
Right, yeah, the people with learning difficulties.
Difficulties, yeah. And they used to get 5
Coming
of them.
home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And he had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and he couldn't control him.
God.
And what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit
Thanks, Dr. Carl.
you could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now. And he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in a wheelie bin. He was having a good time. He thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He you know, he was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine. He had a good
What,
time.
he left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half
In a wheelie bin.
in a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, like, his arms were trapped on the thing. Some of those one.
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know, like, because he was a big fella, and, like, he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't
And
he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but, do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. He just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his, family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away. And he took him there. There was no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble. So he pulled over it.
No, right? So he took him there. Everything's fine. He dropped him off. They had a
Not the
lovely
bin.
night.
Yeah.
Right? They had a lovely night. Won a bit of cash. Coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, "I want to be dropped off here. Take me there. I want to be dropped off first. I've got to get up early. Blah blah. You know, my husband's expecting me. I'm already late. Take me here first. Take me there." And he just pulled up in the middle of nowhere. Said, "Get out." And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking him home in the minibus, and he got the sack. But a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and, like, solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, "I want to be dropped off first, take me here first, take me..."
Yeah, so he acts like a madman. Now, this will scare you. Now, this, Carl, you will be a little bit unnerved about this. Have you seen the film Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
You know what happened there? Well, according to the Sun here, it says scientists are planning to clone mammoths for a theme park. Look at his face, look at that, he looks like a dog caught in the headlights of a car, he's terrified.
I love Carl.
He sprung to attention
Carl.
there.
Is that the best news you could have?
Man moths.
Right.
Yeah, man moths.
I
Man
love
moths.
the fact that that's why he was so excited that they bred a man moth. What is this? Yeah, it's a human being that hides in your wardrobe and eats an entire jacket in a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean, man moths? Mammoths. Mammoth, the big hairy
you heard
cow
of a
from the
mammoth?
Ice Age. I mean, elephant.
You're not so excited about that, then? You can take or leave bringing back mammoths to life, but a man moth?
A man moth is a different matter. Oh, if we'd have never brought that up, he'd have gone and told someone now.
Yeah.
You know, they've bred an half man, half moth.
This
and
is
that's
what
how,
we
that's how
mean.
things start.
This is what we mean when you hear
don't-
these
Are
ghost
you
stories.
slightly deaf? Is that it? When you hear these stories, you're slightly deaf. And his head was in the basket, and he went, "Count how many times I blink." Is it?
Carl, is English your first language? Are you actually foreign? Is that the
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Should we speak
When we say
slower?
foreign, we mean not of this planet.
Yeah. Should we speak slower? Would that be a help to you?
No, Go on. Next
What do you
one.
make of
Do
that?
you think that's good?
Seriously,
Would you
the
think that's
idea
good
of
to bring back mammoths?
prehistoric animals.
These giant elephants.
They're slow, aren't they? It's not as if they're gonna, like, get out and run fast and they can't capture them.
They'd probably be a fence, to be honest, Carl. They'd probably be a fence.
No, but I'm saying, but you're asking it as if, like, oh, it could all go wrong, but it couldn't, could it?
Well,
Really?
but the point was about Jurassic Park is they thought it wouldn't go wrong. They thought they had it all under control.
that was
and
Have you
dinosaurs.
learned nothing from Jurassic Park, Carl?
Dinosaurs would say, oh, think about it before you do it. But with a airy elephant, it's not gonna.
Not a concern for you. Would you go along to see him? Would you be interested in that?
If it was in the area.
He's the best. He's great, isn't he? I'd love a queue,
Nothing
right?
impresses
No,
him.
but what I'd like to do is Carl sitting like Yoda in a little cave, and I'd just like to see people like Tony Blair and, you know, Stephen Hawking in a queue, and they go and say, Carl, got a bit of a problem,
Yeah,
and
thinking of cloning a man and a moth.
yeah,
Problem? Not an issue. No, if I'm in the area, I might cruise around and have a look at it. Otherwise, just don't send it near my clothes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's just for a second.
What's
as the words "man moth" came into your head, how excited were you? I mean, were you both terrified and excited? Just for the moment when you thought that they'd cloned a man and a moth.
I pictured,
What kind of face did he have? Did he have the moth's head, or was it a man's head?
just a little man head.
Right. What was his face? What did it look like?
He just was like a bit shocked.
Perplexed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like he'd been grafted onto the body of a moth without his consent.
And when he was asleep.
Yeah, he'd woken up.
He just went in to have a goiter removed,
Yeah.
and they said, we've
He
replaced
woke
your
up with
goiter with the body of a giant moth.
Yeah.
Is that alright, Mr. Jenkins?
So he had the head of a little. Was it a little boy or a man?
Little man.
Right. Okay.
And he's just bumping into a lamp.
He's just bumping into a man.
Carl, if you went into hospital and they'd done something, what's the worst thing they could do, right? What would you rather have done, do you, right? You wake up and you've got lobster claws for hands.
Right.
You wake up and you've got duck's feet. Or you wake up and you've got one horn coming out of your head.
The worst thing,
Yeah.
probably the horn coming out of my head.
Why?
Get in the way.
That'd be useful, wouldn't it, in fights and stuff? And for like parties, people would play
Well, I suppose
quoits.
the lobster claws would also be quite handy there.
Definitely.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was. Oh, this is great.
makes it in the diary.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington.
I don't know why that's so funny. Oh
I got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington. I opened it and the first sentence read, "Dear Mr. K. Dilkington, you're one of our most valuable customers." I put it in the bin.
What do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here. It
Well,
says,
isn't it just choosing the, you know, eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that, you know, where will it lead? Where will it end, Carl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're
listen.
being, you know, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in
That's
society?
true, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, you know, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, you know, I was growing up on this estate.
This is gonna be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right? Who's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a
Why?
baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a
So
very.
like being a man in a
I
dress.
mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything, and
Sure.
I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Looked
and
like Tony Green with a fag on.
they didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make
Get
a
some
place look
jiff.
nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
whoa, whoa,
Yeah. Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? When did he
believe
get
it,
a
right?
horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have
So
done.
you've seen a horse with it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of...
Right? And,
Oh, that's great.
I'd
Did
been
Big
out.
Jake come looking
Exactly.
for it?
I'd been out.
Oh.
Nicked
Sorry,
away.
let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then. But keep it out the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he
Until-
leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well. I'll be.
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse.
Yeah, right. So
That's why the family didn't have any money. They'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't
Exactly.
think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
They could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh,
So I was like in the car with my dad coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And,
Yeah.
and you know, sort of go back to our house.
you had the traditional method of transport. Yeah,
And the horse was in the lounge,
reading a paper.
just like walking around.
Oh God! What?
And when I was doing, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This is
And I went-
genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait.
That's
Let's
another
play a
story.
record. Let's play a record and come back to this,
Wait a
because
minute,
this story's
wait a
gonna
minute.
just
Wait a
unravel and unravel. It's gonna
Yeah,
go
yeah.
for hours. Let's
It
play a
gets
track,
deeper
Carl.
and deeper. It's
Yeah,
like
come
an
on, Carl.
onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the lounge.
I come from the West Country. I've
I
never
just-
heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
Yeah, the
God.
classic from the first album. I'm waiting for the man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean?
Classic first album, Velvet Underground and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts.
Think of that.
And that's obviously Lou Reed, the Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man.
Yeah, great track. So we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto
We got on to genetically modified babies, but
and then
somehow
Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto, he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly.
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was...
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So
didn't
the
you?
the mother was a right pig, apparently.
Well,
I don't know whether that's
you don't
relevant.
need to go that far.
But you- well,
But
go
what
on.
I'm trying to do is like make a picture for you so you understand.
What
And
did
what
she
a
look
picture
like?
it
Who
is.
did she look like?
Bit of a, and no disrespect to her, bit like Pauline Quirk,
Quirky, yeah.
right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it was going to be Paul. Did she have any tats? Did she have any
I've
tattoos?
never got that close to her.
Okay, alright.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her
No,
husband?
her daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse,
Yeah, from, I don't know where, there was I think it was some stables down the road or something.
and they kept the horse in the house with
They
them.
kept it in the house.
Did
but
they
they didn't
get
have
caught?
it for long.
No.
So, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse
No,
in there.
what happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
But well, I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
the
a good money
charity
making idea.
So-
You're a charity.
So, so I asked my mum for some, 'cause she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them,
Yeah.
got a tray,
Yeah.
had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut, you didn't just cut them and stick them in the
Yeah, they
soil?
wouldn't have survived.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, well, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a bit rough. So, as I went
The
up-
horse went, thank God for that breakfast. they've been feeding me kitty cat.
so I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where no carpet,
Yeah. A horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
and,
Yeah.
and the horse was walking around the living room. I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty
right?
was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay? Or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and
Sure.
a telly and that?
telling you that!
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London the
Commodore
other day.
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
Walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I hope she looks after it." I said, that dog is happier than most dogs.
Right.
Because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open, it's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that.
No, it does eat though, they're always alright. So that's what I was saying, I think this horse was doing alright for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's
That's
what
by
we
the
were talking
by.
about. Yeah, so anyway, this family, who's a bit, what we were talking about, it was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Right, now what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that,
Yeah.
right?
It could happen, Rick.
So,
Come on, work with him.
so you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do, they inject it with something or whatever,
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
and, get a little baby, and there it is, it looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate, you both go off and do your own things,
Yep.
right? Now, you look at Stephen, you look after your baby,
Yeah.
you treat it well, you give it good food and
I'm
that,
a good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese, right? So then it changes its looks, it goes a bit fat, you know, it gets tired easily, and that sort of thing. Now, when this family,
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
right, this family had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby, and my man went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars!
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover?
The
Did
weird
it catch sticks?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy,
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
and chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow.
What a life.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
God.
But am I right?
You're always right, Carl.